Hello and welcome to Your Broken Galaxy. I'm going to be asking the hard question from the original Star Wars movie. What if Porkins destroyed the Death Star? Alright, so first off, naming the only overweight starfighter pilot Porkins may very well have left this guy with decades of being made fun of in his personal life. So William Hootkins, the actor, is a Star Wars legend, and I appreciate you, bro. Okay, let's get into it. So this guy, Jack Tono Porkins, is like the real deal, man. His planet gets occupied, and he joins the rebels. He becomes like super skilled at being a starfighter pilot, and is like great at low altitude strafing attacks and all that sort of stuff. And just good at everything. So this guy is an obvious choice for the Death Star trench run. So all the events of Episode 4 happens, and Porkin is like, dude, I'm super grateful for this farm boy, force boy over here getting the plans and saving our leader, Princess Leia, and everything. But like, why are we giving him an X-Wing? I mean, it's not like we have a bunch of these things just lying around. But, Luke gets his X-Wing anyway, and everyone takes off. And so they're flying, they're taking down all the turrets and everything, and the TIE fighters come, right? And instead of Porkins getting just owned, he ends up evading the TIEs and taking an attack run. And Vader comes out and he's trying to shoot him down. But Luke, instead of doing his own attack run, he's trying to shoot Vader. So Vader's like, that loser is throwing me off my game. And Porkins ends up shooting his torpedo and blowing up the Death Star. Then, a couple minutes after the Death Star blows up, Han kind of flies by and is like, oh, dang, I guess they won. Then he and Chewie just kind of leave. So there's this huge ceremony on Yavin 4 at the end of the movie where Luke and Porkins both get medals. Luke was just like a normal fighter pilot, but he did save Leia, so they gave him a medal anyway. Alright, so now, between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, everybody in the Empire has found out that Porkins is the guy that blew up the Death Star. Nobody knows about Luke. So Vader and Palpatine are all like, we gotta get this Porkins guy. So they end up finding them at Hoth, and now Colonel Porkins is like, well, we gotta get these transports out of here. So Porkins ends up getting in a snowspeeder and is totally rocking out. He's shooting tow cables and causing just a bunch of trouble for the snowmen. He does such a good job that Han and Leia are able to make it to space without even being chased. And I said Han wasn't there for the medal ceremony, but he still likes Leia, so he came back anyway. But they don't get chased, so they're in the clear. They still don't have a hyperdrive, but they aren't being followed by Boba Fett or anything. And they make it to Bespin, and Lando is like, oh, Leia, you're so hot. And Han's like, dude, not cool. And then they leave and everyone is happy, and Luke doesn't have a huge battle with Vader where he learns that Vader is his father, and Vader has no idea that he has a son. And Vader just freaking hates Porkins. So there is no need to go to Jabba's palace there, because Han's not there. He was never captured. They just keep fighting and everything. And Luke gets mad training on Dagobah and just is a beast in the Force because he never has to leave to go and save Han and Leia. So he just gets stronger and stronger. And one day, Mom Mothma gathers up the fighters and the fleet leaders and is like, they have a second Death Star, and everything in the room goes quiet. They all look around and nobody can see Porkins. He isn't there. After a few seconds pass, almost starting as a whisper in the back of the room, you hear this chanting start to build. Porkins, Porkins, Porkins. And it keeps building, and the excitement is rising, and everyone starts joining in. Porkins, Porkins, Porkins. And then, God bless John Williams. He wrote some incredible music, but we're not going to be hearing John Williams for this one. We're here in Europe. So people are looking around in anticipation, waiting for him to come in, and they're just going, Porkins, Porkins, Porkins. And then the music is just building, and everyone is standing and clapping, and you can hear the song counting down 10, 9, 8, and people are going just insane, cheering, screaming. Mon Mothma and Admiral Akbar are holding hands and jumping up and down like giddy little schoolgirls. And right as the music drops, in walks the man, the myth, the Levin, Jack Tono Porkins. And the Alliance just loses it. People are screaming. He's strutting around, giving high fives to everybody. He's walking out in front of the room with Crick's Guile and Mon up there, and he's like starting a headbang, and everybody is just going crazy. He grabs the mic, and you hear him say, "It's the final countdown!" And Porkins throws his hands in the air, and people are like swarming him. Then, like, from the other rooms, the actual members of the band come in, the band Europe, and they are dressed like aliens and stuff with space guitars, and they're all singing on stage in front of the rebel officers with like microphones and everything. And Porkins is like right there with them, singing the second verse about Venus and having light years to go. Then it gets back to the verse, and it's all like, "It's the final countdown," and like women are fighting, men are crying, they are freaking in love with Porkins. So after the second verse, Porkins grabs a guitar and just totally shreds the guitar solo. Admiral Akbar is like on his knees in awe of Porkins, and Mon Mothma has a poster boy sign that she's written up which says, "Marry me, Porkins." Then the song stops just abruptly, and it switches to Luke on Dagobah doing boring Jedi things. He does that for a while, goes back to Porkins, and he is giving an amazing speech about fighting the Empire. And they all fly to attack the Death Star. Luke was like superstar Jedi now, so he leads the team to the Forest Moon instead of Han, as he has no idea that Leia's his sister, though, so hopefully nothing happens between the two of them, But Luke, instead of surrendering himself out of a desire to save Vader, ends up fighting him on Endor and winning. They end up destroying the shield generator, and during the fight to destroy the Death Star, Porkins and Wedge lead the charge. So Porkins flies into the Death Star, and he is being shot at and everything, and he gets hit, but it doesn't blow up. Instead, what happens is that it fries his weapon systems. So he says to Wedge over the radio, "Wedge, I lost my guns." And Wedge is like, "What are we gonna do, Gold Leader?" And Porkins pauses and says, "All right, Wedge, go for the power regulator on the North Tower." And Wedge says with like deep sadness in his voice, "Copy, Gold Leader. I'm already on my way out." And Wedge shoots the power regulator and looks over his shoulder at Porkins. Porkins rips off his helmet and bellows with all the ferocity of a supernova, "Porkins!" as he crashes his ship into the core, causing a chain reaction to destroy the Death Star. Wedge makes it out and reports back. The rebels all meet up back on Home One, where Porkins is posthumously promoted to the rank of the Eternal Admiral. The New Republic is reborn, and its highest military award is renamed the Medal of Porkins. Statues of Porkins are erected throughout the galaxy, and his name echoes through eternity. Porkins, savior of the galaxy. So believe it or not, this is actually the first script I ever wrote for Your Broken Galaxy. And I have not come a long way, but I am so happy that you guys have been watching the videos. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all that.